You think you know Cayde-6's last bet. He grins at the prisoner, dice spinning in his palm. The artifact burns in his fist, not a weapon. A key light the Cayde fades stop. Wasn't to save it, Cayde's smirk cracks, it was to cage it. Uldren's blade will find him here in this rotting tomb. The veil's shadow already claws at his boots. T-claws burr, light the Cayde fades stop. Wasn't to save it, Cayde's smirk cracks. The real game begins when captors become prey. Cayde-6 mentorship of Zavala was no act of faith. It was a Gambit trap threaded through steel and laughter. The traveler bled in the collapse to save humanity, but who saved the traveler? The witness remembers, they were first, the lights first. And Cayde, in his final throw at the monument, did not hide from the traveler. He baited it. The veil does not serve the light. It preys on it. Cayde knew the traveler's wound would reopen, knew the witness would return. His final bet wasn't against death. It was against the ancient hunger that feeds on salvation, who taught Zavala discipline, the man who planned to be the shield, not the weapon. Cayde-6's hands were never clean, they were gravekeepers. The vault's air hung thick with smoke and metallic blood. Zavala's recruit training roared through the corridors, but Cayde-6 lingered at the veil's edge, where ghosts flickered like dying stars. Their light seeped into his gauntlet warm, then searing. He laughed, but the sound cracked. Oresh called this the fundament, he thought. But foundations rot. Years later, the last city rose from dust. Cayde stood atop a wrecked tower, watching Zavala raise a ghost-born banner. Below, Mara's wolves howled at the traveler's pale glow. A ghost landed on Cayde's shoulder, its hum a whisper, they'll need you. He tilted his head. The ghost's light was not light at all, it was absence, a void wearing gold. Zavala never knew his mentor's hands had shaped that void. Cayde fed ghosts to the city, but each was a thread in a net. The traveler's sacrifice, alone, the veil didn't serve devoured Cayde's final gamble wasn't a roll of the dice. It was a bet that Zavala, once taught to build walls, might one day learn to burn them. The ghosts watched him die. Their light outlasted the lie. The veil's breath was cold as grave mist when it pulled Cayde back. Not flesh, not quite, something stitched from laughter and loose ends, a silhouette grinning in the dark. The ghosts saw it. Their light flickered, not in fear but warning. Cayde-6, unburied, stepped into a world already burning. His boots crunched over ash that smelled of burnt dice. But rang wrong, frayed at the Cayde-6 edges. The ace was unburied, no relic, it was a key. Cayde had spent years forging it in the crucible of his own recklessness, each heist, each lie, a hammer strike on the anvil of chaos. The forge's heat left scars like red thread across his ribs. He taught Zavala to read the language of walls, not to break them, but to understand the rot behind the stone. A lesson buried beneath decades of duty. When the witness fell, Cayde's hand was already in the deck. The city's foundations trembled as Neomuna's truth unraveled, a thread pulled from the traveler's tapestry. In the end, Cayde's final bet was never about winning. It was about time. How many hands could he buy before the house collapsed? The veil's grip on him was a rope of shadows, tightening with every roll. He felt it in his bones, the cost of resurrecting a legend. A price paid in futures. As the light consumed him, Cayde's grin faded. For a heartbeat, he wondered if Zavala would burn the walls or build new ones. The veil answered with a whisper, both. And Cayde, the eternal gambler, placed his last chip on the edge of the table. Let the house fall, let the game begin. The shattered monument breathes, rusted beams creak. Cayde-6, his boot presses into dust that smells of burnt ozone. The artifact in his grip pulsed not light, but absence, a void that leaches color from the air. He knows the veil isn't here. It is here. A whisper threads through his skull, not words but a hunger that tastes like static on a blade. He slides the gauntlet over his fist. The stone floor grows cold, not freezing alive cold, like the ground itself is holding its breath. The traveler's light fractures in the distance, a star trying to drown in a black hole. Cayde's jaw tightens. Zavala's lessons echo, not as mentorship but as a riddle. Guardians don't question the light, they carry it. But Cayde always carried two lights. One to save the dead, one to burn the savior. The veil's price is a signature. His hand trembles as he etches his name in paracausal fire, knowing the traveler's will is a storm that bends time. The ink isn't in Kit's a fracture, a door. The monument's shadows deepen, pooling into shapes that don't move but watch asterisk. Cayde's pulse drums a countdown. The pact seals with a sound like shattering glass and a sigh. The artifact flares, and for a breath, Cayde sees elsewhere a city of spires choked by vines, a child's laughter swallowed by static, Zavala's sword sinking into a body that isn't his. The vision peels away, the traveler's light dims, the veil's hunger is satiated. Cayde staggers back, his hand is empty. The pact is a scar now, a thread in the fabric of what is and what never was. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. The gambit is set, the house has no idea the deck is rigged. The traveler's light fades, the darkness stirs. And Cayde-6, eternal fool, waits for the game to fold around him. But to grasp the cost of Cayde-6's bargain, look to the traveler's silence, the whole text of its sacrifice, what it gave. A city built on borrowed light, what it took, a pact bound in the veil's hunger, what it hid, a price paid in stolen time. Did it warn? No, it waited still as the darkness fed, and Cayde-6, eternal fool, bet the universe on a hand he never played. The vault's light grew colder. Cayde-6's laughter echoed, hollow, as he sealed his pact with the veil a whisper-thin thread of shadow that coiled through the traveler's gold. The light did not resist, it never did. Zavala stood at the forge, hammer raised, unaware his strikes shaped a gilded cage. The city's spires shimmered, but their glow carried a tremor, a fracture in the light's promise. Every resurrection, a debt collector's receipt, pardon granted. Interest accruing, Sajira's smithy reeked of burnt iron. She never saw the veil's hand in her fire, only the faces of dead allies. Cayde's mentorship was a Russia veil-baited lure. Had taught Zavala to lead, yes, but also to follow asterisk. Follow the witness script where Y demands a blade in the ribs to answer. Eris light dimmed first, a flicker in the dead orbit's void. She felt a thief's guilt, stealing breath from a corpse. The light was not salvation. It was a ransom note, signed in blood not yet spilled. Cayde-6 watched from the shadows, his eternal grin fraying. Had traded his soul to trap a god, but gods are hungry. The veil's shadow now clung to Zavala's armor, cold as a corpse's hand. What is a pardon when the pardon giver is a thief? The witness waited patient as the traveler's light curdled. They did not need to speak. They had finality. And Cayde, fool, gambler, savior spun in the void, a joker card in a deck that would burn the house down. The city's bells rang, muffled by fog. No one heard the veil's first breath, no one but the dead. Cold iron hums, flickering gold light carves Cayde-6's hollow grin into the traveler's ribs. His armor hangs like a shell, joints stiff with alien frost. The air reeks of ozone and burnt sugar-sweet decay. He lifts a hand, shadows ripple where his fingers should be. A laugh escapes, sharp and empty as a tomb. In the void's heart, the witness waits. Cayde's gaze locks on ancient clockworks grinding. His voice rasps, but you didn't see this hand coming. The words carry, but no humor lingers. His eyes, once warm coals, now mirror the witness' cold finality. A shiver crawls through the chamber. The traveler's light falters. Zavala's blade clashes against a veil-born specter. Cayde watches, unblinking. His mentor's strikes grow wilder, desperation etching his face. Cayde could speak, could warn him. But his tongue is a pawn. The veil's grip tightens, a pressure behind his eyes, a noose of static. This is what you taught me, Zavala growls, parrying a phantom strike. Cayde's lips twist, taught, he thinks, I only placed the bet. The final strike comes as a symphony, the witness tendrils snap. Cayde's body arcs with light, a bridge between colliding titans. His voice merges with the veil's chorus, no longer gambler, now gambit. The traveler's core flares, searing his name into the void. A sigh escapes him, lost in the storm. What's a king but a prisoner in his own crown? Above, the city's spires tremble. Cayde-6's laughter echoes, faint through the traveler's bones. A ghost who never left. Cayde-6's breath fogs the crystalline walls of the traveler's core. A dice toss becomes a blade thrust. His silence cuts deeper than any joke. The veil's whispers curl around his name, a noose woven from forgotten truths. Did he bind himself to the witness, shadow, or the voids? The last city burns its own candles to find answers. Zavala's armor bears the weight of a debt never confessed. A mentor's shadow stretches long, but Cayde's was a snare. His laughter was bait, his games a ledger of sacrifices. The traveler's light dims where he stands, a phantom hand on its throne. The witness watches, the veil listens. Cayde-6's ghost is neither prisoner nor prophet. He is the fault line between two storms, a gambit played with his own soul as stake. The city's spires cast long shadows, but they cannot reach the riddle in his eyes. What did he trade to delay the end? What price hung on his grin? The traveler's heart pulses. Cayde-6's voice cracks like static through its circuits, a warning, a wager, a silence that screams. The city's guardians walk blind, the city's light flickers, and in the dark Cayde-6 waits, not dead, not whole, a ghost who never left. A ghost who never intended to. The air in the veil tastes of static and rust. Cayde-6's silhouette blurs at the edges, his laughter trapped in a loop, echoing like a broken chime. Below, the last city glows feverish, a sickly gold, not white. The witness watches. Not a face but a weight, a trillion unblinking eyes woven into the sky. Cayde's hand brushes the veil's surface. It recoils, shuddering like water. The pact was never about saving the traveler. It was about containing the question. The witness does not ask asterisk how asterisk, it demands asterisk why asterisk. And the traveler, that paradox of paracausality, cannot answer. Cayde could, he paid in whispers. Zavala's voice, distant, once called him a man who saw the end and bet on the next hand anyway. Cayde never told him the deck was stacked. The gambit wasn't a gamete, was a cage. A trap for the traveler's will, bleeding into the witness void. Every joke, every reckless smile was a distraction from the math, from the cost. He walks the city's shadows now, a thief in his own epitaph. The traveler's light warps where he treads. Cayde knows the truth. Mentors don't sacrifice themselves, they pass the burden. He left Zavala a legacy, not a riddle. But legacies are just debts with pretty wrapping. The witness pulses. Cayde's form flickers. He never intended to win. Only to delay the day the traveler's why becomes an answer the universe cannot survive. He thought he was guiding a hand. The hand was a maze. Dice bones in the ash of his hand. Cayde-6's final roll was not against fate but the traveler's mute godhood. He taught Zavala to lead, not to question. The lessons were hooks, the gambler's grin a mask for a noose. What does a god learn when its silence is a prison? Cayde bet the veil's hunger against the traveler's sleep, a thief pitting shadow against light. His laughter echoed in the dark, a dirge for the hand that built too many walls. The traveler's silence was never a gift. It was a vault, and Cayde-6, that reckless saint, broke it open with a whisper, asterisk let the universe burn. Ill bet on the loser, asterisk the dice are still rolling, the traveler still does not speak. Grief is the rent he pays for the privilege. Cayde-6 bet on the broken. His dice were not for chance, but for chains. What did he stake as collateral? The veil's price was not loyalty, it was leverage, a gambit against the traveler's silence. Zavala's lessons were not teachings, they were traps. The witness does not ask asterisk why asterisk, it demands finality, and finality has a face now, a sword, a hollow, a question unanswered.